Okay, good morning and welcome ulit sa klase natin. So, as for today, pag-uusapan po natin yung mga topics regarding the computations ng mga bagay-bagay, especially sa part po ng descriptive statistics. Okay, so last time nabanggit natin that in statistics, we have different types of variables, and then nabanggit din natin na yung mga variables na yon are measured in different uh, levels of measurement. We have either nominal scales, ordinal scales, and interval, tapos yung ratio scales, which is composed of those three, yung ratio scales. Kasi nabanggit natin that ratio scale is the most informative scale. So, kasunod naman po nun is nabanggit po natin that we have the measurements of center such as the mean and median. Bukod dun sa discussion natin about the percentiles. Okay. So, nag-stop tayo doon sa pag-identify ng mga medians and means by simple lang na computation by using the average method. Okay. So, let's go on to the discussion po ng descriptive statistics. Yung mean, median, yung ating mode, and yung range and variance na topic using descriptive statistics. Ayan. So, let me just share this screen para at least makapag-start na tayo ng ating discussion. Okay. So, here, sabi nga natin, ipo-point out natin yung role ni descriptive statistics doon sa mga topic na mean, median, variance, range, and yung standard deviation. Okay, which is nandun po sa ating libro. Okay. So, to recall, yung atin pong descriptive statistics is used by researchers to report on populations and samples. So, magkaiba po yun. Ang population is the collection of all the elements being studied upon, while the samples are just portions of the population itself. Okay. So, in sociology, descriptive statistics is the summary descriptions of measurements taken about a group of people. Okay? Taken from about a group of people, and dun natin sinasabi na based on those people or based on those data that we have gathered, we conclude on something else that we describe using this type of statistics. Okay, dun papasok yung mean later on. Okay, kasi ang mean, mode, median, and so on na mga topics is under siya ng descriptive statistics because you are just describing the data itself. Okay, so by summarizing the information, descriptive statistics speed up and simplify comprehension of a group characteristics. May mga times po kasi na we are bound by biased judgments about kunwari, meron tayong dalawang grupo. Doon sa isang grupo may kilala kang magaling. Okay? Tapos pinagpili ka. Saan dyan sa dalawang grupo ang mas matalino? Syempre, ikaw, isipin mo, mas matalino yung doon na grupo kasi doon na bibilang yung isang estudyante or isang tao na alam mong matalino. Okay, bias na agad yun. Without the proper information and describing that information, mali ang kalalabasan ng inyong conclusion. Okay, sabi ko nga, population is the whole element being studied upon, and sample is just a part of that population. Okay, so dito na papasok yung atin pong usapan kanina. Okay, meron tayo ditong 13 students na nag-test daw sila ng IQ level. Okay? Lumabas po dyan that these 13 students, magkaiba yun hindi the same student na 13 dito tapos nag-take ulit sila, hindi. Magkaibang mga estudyante yan. Okay? So, on class A, we have 13 students and they scored something like this. Okay? So, nandyan po. While the class B, composed of 13 students, then may score din sila na ganito. So nakikita natin that some of these scores are parang binibase na natin agad, siguro mas matalino dito. Ayan. Kasi ang daming 127, meron din 162, while dito wala silang 162. Ganon-ganon tayo. Okay, so nakikita natin on individual scores ng mga estudyante. Okay? So each individual may be different, but if you try to understand a group by remembering the qualities of each member, you would become overwhelmed and fail to understand the group. Kasi akala natin dito, kunwari, ayan, makikita natin, wala silang 162 na IQ dito compared sa class B. Okay? Pero dito naman, meron silang mga 140, mga ganun. So, siguro class A is medyo inferior siya compared sa class B. So, kapag ganun, binibase natin siya sa individual, tingnan nga natin kung totoo nga ba yung ganun. Okay? So, remember this mga number na naka-display dito. And, iniisip nyo siguro, mas matalino ang class B. Oo, kasi meron silang estudyante na nagkakaroon ng score na 162, may 127, may 131, may mga pa. Okay? So, naisip natin agad na si class B is mas matalino. Pero, using the tools that we discussed last time, okay, makikita natin. Okay. Using the average IQ. Okay, average mean. Yan, mean na score ng IQ ng class A and class B. Nakita natin na mas mataas pala ang average IQ ng class A. Okay? So, nakita natin kanina, akala natin, mas matalino ang class B kasi meron silang mga ganito katataas na score. Pero bakit lumabas ng grupo na mas matalino compared dito sa dalawang to is si class A? Okay? Ang taas ng nung difference nila, although they're roughly the same. With a summary of descriptive statistics, it is much easier to answer the question, okay, na naka-display kanina. Nakita natin na from individual point of view, nagje-judge na tayo agad na mas matalino si class B. Pero lumabas pala na mas matalino si class A. Okay? So, paano na-solve yun? Okay. So, meron tayong mga tools para ma-organize and ma-summarize yung data na yon. Such tools includes, pagdating sa organization of data, we have tables and graph. Okay? Sa pag-summarize naman, we have the graphical representations of those data such as the central tendency and variation. Doon na rin pumapasok yung mode, mga ganon. Okay? So, in tables, we have frequency distributions, relative frequency, pero later pa natin yan pag-uusapan. Okay? So, skip ko muna yan. Okay. So, pagdating naman po sa pag-summarize, we have the mean, median, mode, which is i-discuss na natin na kung saan nandun na rin po sa ating libro yung ating topic regarding this mga tawag doon, mga words na to. Ayan, hindi ko mahanap yung tamang term doon. Okay, so umpisahan natin doon sa mean. Okay, last time nabanggit natin that the mean is often called as the variable. Okay, nandun sa libro natin yan. It is computed by adding up all of the values and dividing by the total number of values. Okay, so meron tayong mga different collection of data. Depende yan kung gaano karami, and kailangan pa rin natin yun. Okay, so makikita natin dito that we have a formula. Okay, all the same din lang naman siya dun sa ating libro, which is the yung yung Greek letter na mu kanto, or yung summation, sabi nila, or average. Yan. Okay, so yung average po, or yung mean of what you are looking for. Okay, kunwari dito, we have the mean of y kanto. Okay, so y bar. In graphical form, ang itsura po niyan is y tapos may bar sa taas. Okay, so just like in the textbook. Okay, so makikita natin, ayan po, hindi ko ma-point out. Meron tayong yung sa X tapos bar yung nasa gitna. Pero dito sa ating iba ko lang ng konti, Y bar kanto. Okay. Sa pag-compute ng mean of Y, ayan, we have the integer 1 of Y na data. So, pinangalanan natin to as Y1. Y1 plus Y2 and so on. Okay, yung dot na nandyan. Hanggang sa last number or last integer po ng y na data. Okay, divided by total number of the integers. So meron tayo nung in short po na na representation nitong atin pong formula dito is mean of y is equals to the sigma or summation of the all integers of y divided by number of the integer. Okay? So kung titignan po natin or gagamitin natin itong formula ni mean doon sa atin pong data na nakita kanina. Okay? Ito pala yung yung representation po ng mga nabanggit ko dito. Okay? So, yung bar or yung y is your variable. Yung data being studied upon, di ba? Okay, so it could be X or Q or symbol or even a word such yung glitter, mga ganun. Lahat naman ng lahat naman ng possible na pwedeng may pangalan doon sa variable mo is pwede mo nang gamitin yan. Okay? Kahit nga, student, tapos bar, okay. Average student, ganun ang magiging itsura niya. Okay? So, yung y1, sabi nga, first case value on variable y or yung unang data doon hanggang doon sa pinakahuli. Okay, yn, kanto. Okay, so yung n is the number of cases of your sample. So, po yung huli. And yung parang inverted letter E na sharp dyan is sigma or sum. Okay, summation. Ganon. Okay. So, just remember that na formula. Same din naman po siya doon sa ating libro, which is, on our case, sa libro, ang ating variable is named as x. Okay. So, meron tayong x bar dyan. And then, summation of the x integer or yung case number divided by the number of data that has been gathered. Okay. So, bilisan na lang natin. Okay. Sa paggamit ng mean, doon natin nakita kasi na iba pala yung perspective natin on individual point of view doon sa average. Okay. Nakita natin na even though si Class A is wala silang estudyante that has an IQ of 162 compared dito kay Class B, makikita po natin na medyo mas mataas naman yung mga nakukuha nilang IQ compared dito. Okay? Oo, medyo lamang talaga dito dahil sa isang mataas na score. Pero kung mapapansin natin, yung mga 100 na mga points nila dito, yun yung nagbigay ng ambag doon sa grupong ito para magkaroon ng mas mataas na summation of the data that has been gathered. Okay. So, the sum of the variable y, okay, is in total of 1,437. While on Class B, 1,433. So, meron lang, difference lang na 4 points, di ba? Pero, yung 4 points na yon has a lot of impact when it comes to decision making kung sino ang mas matalino. Okay. Using the mean na computation, nakita natin that the average or y bar or mean of Y for class A is 110.54, while on the mean of the class B, okay, is 110.23. So we can conclude that class A is smarter than class B sa case na to. Yan. So yun po yung paggamit ng mean in a real life scenario. Okay. So sa atin po kasi ang mean is the balance point. Okay, yun po yung average. Okay, kung meron din kayo ng mga average na mga sinusukat everyday, such as average na calories na ini-spend ninyo, yung average na gastusin ninyo everyday. So iba-ibang yun, iba-ibang paggamit. Pero if we see that in other perspective, tulad na lang nitong example dito, each person's score is like 1 pound placed at the score's position on a seesaw. Okay. Alam nyo naman yung seesaw, di ba, yung sa mga playground na merong nandun sa kabilang side and then meron din sa kabila. Let's say, meron tayong 2 tao pero hindi parehas yung bigat nila. So, paano magiging paano magiging masayang laro yun kung hindi bigay ng tamang bigat yung kabilang side para mapataas yung isang tao. Sabi natin, mas mabigat itong taong to. And then, itong taong to naman, magaan. So, syempre, kapag naglaro sila, yung mabigat, siya yung nasa baba, while yung magaan nasa taas. So, paano yun? Hindi niya na may enjoy kapag sakaling gusto niya ring tumalon-talon. Okay. So, ililipat natin yung balance point. So, magkakaroon tayo ng pag-move ng mga yung midpoint nila. Okay? So, kunwari dito, meron tayong 93 sinukat kasi nila dito by means of the height ng seesaw na pwedeng tumaas or bumaba. Okay? So, nakita nila dito that 1 pound, parehas na bigat, pero yung kataas ng pwedeng pag-bounce na distance is magkaiba. So, may difference na 17 units compared doon sa natin, sa balance point. And then, ito naman is we have the 21 units naman po compared doon sa pwedeng magpantay sila. Okay, so pwede nating ilipat-lipat yan. So, ang purpose po nito, in short, ang mean po ay pag-identify ng average para at least alam natin kung saan tayo mag-a-adjust or hindi. Okay? So, means can be badly affected by outliers or the data points with extreme values unlike the rest. Tulad po nung nandito. Okay? So, kung titignan po natin dito, meron tayong outliers na sobrang taas na hindi na nakakasabay yung mga nasa grupo niya. Okay? Unlike dito, medyo average lang, di ba? Meron tayong part nitong grupong ito na medyo mababang score, and then merong part na nandun naman po sa parang mostly ito yung score nila, and then merong part na konti ang nakakuha kasi medyo mataas na score. Okay, while on this one kasi marami ang nakakakuha ng mababang score, ganun din sa sa mga tagwa 100 plus, and then biglang taas, di ba? Okay. So, tulad na lang nito. Meron tayong mga data that we can make use of these outliers, yung tipong naiiba sila sa rest of the data, and they can be yung an example of the hindi gitna na klase ng mean, okay, or yung average. Okay, let's see on this example na nasa ating screen. Meron tayong income in the US, okay, so kunwari nasa US daw tayo. Meron tayong mga workers, of course, kasama tayo doon, kunwari worker din tayo, and we have an income of the average income of a worker. Okay, marami yun, oo, marami. Pero syempre, kasama po doon sa worker na yun ay si Bill Gates. Alam naman natin na mayaman si Bill Gates, nandyan na rin si Elon Musk. Okay, so if we measure the average income of all of the workers, hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na ang average income is yung income natin. Hindi. Kasi kasama pa rin si Bill Gates doon as a worker din, di ba? Okay. So, nandun pa rin siya sa part na to. Okay. Nandun din si Elon Musk and then so on na mga mayayaman na tao. Okay. Pero, ang mean doesn't mean that it has to stay on our part. Okay. So, part pa rin po kasi ng variable etong all of us and then Bill Gates. Workers pa rin yung mga yan. Ang mini-measure natin is the income. So, the average income would fall under most of the scores is nasa malapit sa atin kasi marami tayo eh. Yan. Yan. Pero, kaunti na yung para sa mga mayayaman. Of course, kasi hindi naman natin pwedeng sabihin ng average sahod ng isang worker sa US is 1 million kanto. Hindi naman pwede yon. Hindi naman pwede nating ilagay dito yan. Okay? Kasi hindi na balance point yan. So, ang balance point is the total of this one and then this one. Kung saan sila magmi-meet, doon po yung mean natin. Okay? Makikita rin natin yan kapag sa mga examples na tulad ng quiz. Okay? We can see samples of this graphical representation of a mean kapag sa mga quiz. Okay, let me just look for an example. Okay, wait lang po. Saan na yung dito? Okay, let me just look for an example of this mean na tinatawag natin. Okay, hanap ako ng quiz. Sample lang na quiz na medyo may pagkakaiba yung mean. Okay. Ito na lang. Okay, remember the last time na meron tayong quiz on percentiles. Okay. So we have an example here. Okay, imagine ninyo that this graph here doesn't have yung ini-expect natin na symmetrical, yung tipong parang pabundok tapos pababa rin dyan. Okay, it has an skewed type of yung type of representation kasi konti yung mabababang score tapos biglang taas. Okay? So, it means that the average po na score is not on the middle points na pwedeng makuhang score, which is 25 out of 50, kundi ang average po is nasa around 30 to 36, di ba? Ito po yung parang highest point ng ating score. Okay? So, yung atin pong representation is not on the center itself. Okay. So, tingnan naman natin yung iba pang example. Hanap ako ng nasa symmetrical naman po na itsura. Okay. Yung tipong average, merong mga number na konti ang nakuha nila. Meron din yung number na matataas ang nakuha nila. Pero, madalas ay nasa bandang gitna lang. Okay? So, hanap ako dito ng Mhm. Okay, just stay with me. Wait lang po. Hinahanap ko pa lang po yung mga pwedeng maging example natin kasi yung mga nakukuha natin dito is medyo medyo okay, ito. Okay, so dito makikita natin that we have parang pabundok sa gitna. Oo. Okay, so this is a symmetrical one. Okay, konti yung nakakuha ng mababang score, konti rin yung nakakuha ng mataas na score. Pero most of the data gathered is nasa middle part. So, pwede nating sabihin na yung mean natin is nasa balance point talaga nung ating scores na pwedeng makuha. Unlike in the other, like this one, medyo, medyo flat yung ating scoring, di ba? So, yung mean point natin dyan is not on the center part, kundi nandun sa pinaka-highest point na madaming nakakuha. Nandito sa part ng 4 and 6, which is yung 5 natin. Ganon din naman po dito. Okay? Hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na ang median or yung atin pong balance point na mean is nasa 40 kasi out of 80 yung score na pwedeng mag-gather. Kundi, ang naging balance point is nandito na sa 60 kasi yun yung average na nakukuha nila eh. Okay, 55.05. Median is nandun na rin kasi nasa on the higher part yung score na nakukuha nila. Okay, these are just some of the scores that has been gathered sa mga quizzes sa atin pong mga online na classes. Okay, siguro I can also conclude that sa online class medyo matataas yung mga nakukuha nilang score. I don't know why. Siguro alam na natin yan, baka prone to cheating nga talaga ang online eh. Pero tignan natin kapag kapag sa actual na klase, makikita nyo talaga na nasa symmetrical. Konti ang nakakuha ng mababang score, konti ang nakakuha ng matataas na score, pero average na sa gitna yan. Okay, so let's go back to our discussion. Okay, sabi nga natin, mean is the balance point of the variables being studied, di ba? Okay, nabanggit din natin na ang median is yun po yung 50th percentile. Median, mid, sabi nga nila. The middle value when a variable's value are ranked in order, the point that divides a distribution into two equal halves. Yun po ay median. Okay. When data are listed in order, okay, depende kung anong klaseng order yan, highest to lowest or what, nandun pa rin ang median. The median is the point at which 50% of the cases are above and 50% is below. Pwede rin natin yung sabihin as the 50th percentile. Okay. So, nabanggit natin that medians is yun po yung gitna nung ating mga scores that must be in order. Okay. Looking back at the example po na ginamit natin sa ating discussion kanina, we have the IQ of the 13 students from Class A. So, meron tayong 13 na cases. So, pwede nating kunin yung pinakagitna nun. So, meron tayo nito. So, yung score na medyo mabababa nandyan as the 50% and then score na pinaka medyo nasa mataas, nasa other half, di ba? Okay. So, yung gitna noon, kasi 13 yan eh, add yung number natin. This is the median, okay? 6 cases above and 6 cases below. So, the median of this data is 109. Okay. Pero, kung sakali man po na hindi even yung number of the number ng ating cases, okay? Let's say, sa class A, nag-drop out daw yung isang estudyante. Okay? So, magbabago yung median natin ngayon kasi meron tayong even na number of cases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Hindi naman natin pwedeng sabihin na ang 6 at 7 is yun yung median. Hindi. Dapat nasa gitna pa rin nun. So, paano i-compute yun? As per said din dun sa ating libro, kailangan mong pag-add yung dalawang number na pumagitna dun sa median natin. Which is, in our case, we have the 109 and then 110. So, add that 2 divided by 2, syempre, kasi average naman yon, we have the median of 109.5. On the case na nasa libro natin, we have 35 and 39. Okay, kasi meron tayong example that we have 23, 27, 29, 31, 35, 39, 40, 42, 44, and 47. So, hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na ang median is nasa 35. Hindi rin pwedeng 39. Okay, dapat nasa gitna ng dalawang yon. So, ang ginawa natin doon is 35 plus 39 divided by 2 is we have the median here as 37. Okay. So, median is very easy to use and identify as long as you have the proper data to be presented. Okay. So, the median is unaffected by outliers, making it a better measure of central tendency and better describing the typical person than the mean when the data are skewed. Okay. So, ito is skewed to kasi hindi nasa gitna yung curve natin. Okay. So, pwede na lang natin sabihin na ang median is yun yung typical lang na tao. Okay. So, yung typical na tao is nandito siya na part. Ito yung kinikita niya. Unlike yung ating example kanina na ang mean natin nandito. Okay. So, maaaring marami ang nakakakuha ng sahod na ganito sa US, okay? On this, sabihin na lang natin ang sahod nila diyan nasa nasa 15 to 25,000. Ayan. So, typical na tao doon ganun ang kinikita, but the mean is nasa higher pa. Okay? Kasi kasama pa rin yung mga outliers na tinatawag natin. Okay. So, ano ba yung symmetric at skewed na tinatawag ko dito? Okay. So, kanina pa ako sabi symmetric and skewed. Ito po yun. If the recorded values from for a variable form a symmetric distribution, the median and mean are identical. Nandun lang sa pumagitna. Yung typical na score and average na score, yun po, kapag nag-meet po yung median and mean, symmetric po yun. Yun po yung tipong mostly ng mga nakaka-answer ay nandito and then most ng mga score nila nandun din, symmetric yun. In a skewed data, the mean lies further toward the skew than the median. Okay, tulad ng example natin kanina. Kasi ang mean, ina-average niya as lahat. Ang median is yung talagang gitna lang. Okay? So, kung titignan po natin dito, hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na ang median ay yung naman nandito, yung average. Okay? Ano bang average ng class A? Let's go back doon sa ating Ang average ng class A is 110.54. If we go here on the median, okay, nandito na yon 110.54. So, ang atin pong mean ay nandito sa gitna ng 110 at 115. While the median is nasa earlier part, which is 109.5. Hindi sila equal. So, meaning, hindi po symmetric yung ating magiging data. Okay? Pag parehas, symmetric. Pag hindi parehas, skewed ang tawag doon. Okay. So, the middle score or measurement in a set of rank scores or measurements The point that divides the distribution into two, bakit naulit. Okay. Meron din tayo ng mga score na pare-parehas. Okay. Ang tawag po nila doon ay mode. Okay. So, mode is the most common data point. Okay. Let's say we have the combined IQ scores of class A and B. Okay. So, yung my scores nila kanina. Sinulat lang natin. Of course, hindi naman natin pinag-add. Pero, nakita natin na meron tatlong estudyante na pare-parehas yung kanilang IQ score. Itong tatlong to. 109, 109, 109. Okay? So, meron tayong score na pare-parehas, and hindi lang minsan pwedeng mangyari to. Maring may parehas din. Kunwari, ito na lang meron din tayong 131 at 131 din. Parehas sila, 'di ba? So dalawa ang possible na mode natin. Ang tawag natin doon is bimodal. Okay. So, in mode, it may not be at the center of distribution. Okay? And kung meron po tayong dalawa na mode sa ating set of data, bimodal ang tawag natin doon. Okay? Just like yung atin pong score dito, 109 and 131. So, makikita natin na possible na mangyari yon in other form. 109 dito yan dapat okay, pero ibang example 131. Okay, so in mode, it may give you the most likely experience rather than typical or central experience. Yan. In symmetric view, okay, or symmetric distribution, the mean, median, and mode are the same. Okay, yung typical na score na nakukuha or typical na data na nakukuha, symmetric po kapag pare-parehas sila. Okay. Let's say meron tayong example ulit. Okay, hanap ako. Okay, wait lang po. Hanap ako ng example na meron tayong the same lahat ng score nila. I hope makahanap ako nun. Sabihin natin, mode is yung pare-parehas sila. Ang hirap makahanap ng example sa mga quizzes na nanggaling sa online exams dahil you can always see na ang tataas ng score nila at halos pare-parehas lahat. Okay. Nagkukopya yata yung mga to Pero I'm not the one to judge. Depende na lang kung talagang Okay, medyo nahirapan akong maghanap ng example regarding this skewed na klase. Okay. Skewed, symmetric na klase. Okay, siguro ito na lang. Hindi ko lang alam kasi medyo ang taas taas ng pare-parehas. Okay. So, let me just share the screen. Ayan. Makikita po natin dito that we have a symmetrical naman. Kasi, konti yung nakakuha ng mabababa, konti rin nakakuha ng matataas, pero average is nasa gitna. Okay. So, we can see that the median, okay, is on the part of the mean na meron tayo. So, symmetrical. 38.34 if we round that up, nasa 39. Okay, nasa median pa rin tayo. Ganon din yung mode natin. Yung mode natin is nasa symmetric distribution siya, nasa gitna, kasi most of the answers are nandoon, 18 ang nakakuha nung talagang So, yung mode natin is, or yung highest mode natin is nandoon sa mean and median natin. Okay? So, we can conclude that this is a symmetrical form of yung nasa na yung ko dito, discussion. Ayan. Symmetrical form of distribution ng data. Okay? Kasi yung mode is nandun sa nasa score ng mean and median. Okay? 18 students have the same score as the mean and median. So, symmetric yon. While on the skewed naman po, makikita natin ng median, mean, and mode is hindi equal. Okay? Skewed po lagi kapag hindi pare-parehas ang mean, mode, and median. Okay? So, ayan. Tapos na tayo doon sa pag-identify ng central tendency using mean, mode, and median. Okay? So, punta naman po tayo dito sa pag-identify ng variation. Okay? Variance. Okay? Pagkakaiba-iba. Okay? So, the variance uses the difference between each value and arithmetic mean. Okay? Tulad na lang po ng pag sinabing variation of foods. Ayan. Pag sinabing variation of foods, pagkakaiba-iba ng pagkain. Meron tayong seafoods, meron tayong beef, pork, chicken, depende na lang kung ano yung mga putahe doon, 'di ba? May variation. Ganon din naman po sa mga data. May mga variation tayo. Tinitignan natin doon yung mga group of data that can be classified into different conclusions na pwede nating sabihin doon sa grupo na yon. Okay? Tulad na lang sa klase, meron tayong isang buong block or klase. Pero sa buong klase na yun, meron tayong mga estudyante na magugulo. Meron tayong mga estudyante na mga nerd. Meron tayong mga estudyante na out of this world yung kanilang mga mga usapan. Meron din yung mga estudyanteng walang pakialam. Meron yung mga typical din na mga estudyante. Okay? So, we have different variation. Okay? So, pag-usapan natin on this topic, yung range, interquartile range, variance, and standard deviation. Okay. So, tingnan natin dito. We have the score of the IQ of the two class. Okay. Same pa rin yung ating example. Okay. So, pag-usapan natin yung range. The range is the spread or distance between the lowest and highest value of a variable. Okay? So, in a range, you can also regroup the data itself. Yun yung makikita natin mamaya, interquartile or quartile or half, mga ganun. So, to get the range of a variable or for a variable, you subtract the lowest value from its highest value. So, in the IQ scores of class A, the highest value is 140 and the lowest score is 89, while on the class B we have 162 for the highest and then 80 for the lowest. So the class A range of data that we have is 51. So medyo close lang yung difference ng mga estudyante doon sa class A, while on class B naman sobrang layo, almost half, 'di ba? Okay. Or more than half doon sa pinakamataas na score. So, in real life applications, ang range po ay ginagamit natin kapag we study the difference of a community compared to another community. Let's say, gaano ba kalayo ang agwat ng income ng tao noon at ngayon? Ayan. So, mga usapan noon, sasabihin nila, bakit mas mayaman yung tao noon? Ang sinisweldo lang ng mga tao noon, mataas na yung 5,000 pesos eh. Ngayon, kahit na kumita ka ng 20,000, parang hindi mo naman maramdaman na mayaman ka. Okay? It has something to do with the value of money doon. Okay? Pero, hindi mo pwedeng gamitin ang range na 5,000 and 20,000 as the highest value para makita lang na ang layo ng agwat. Hindi. Dapat you need a data that is on the same status. Okay? So, let's say, ngayong present day, ayan, hanapin natin yung range ng difference ng sinisweldo ng worker in province and worker in Metro Manila or NCR. Malayo. Oo. Ang sinisweldo ng mga nasa NCR is, let's say, average nila is nasa 25 to 35,000. Oo. Pero dito sa probinsya, mataas na ang 25,000 na kinikita mo. Swerte mo na lang kung medyo tumaas pa doon. So, ang average dito is nasa 15 to 25,000. So, in difference nila, the range of the data that we have is sobrang layo. 10,000 or 15,000. Marami ng marami ng score ang pwede mong sabihin na hindi na tama or hindi na equal yung nangyayari. But if we want to use that range na na-compute natin, tignan naman natin ang range ng cost of living dito at sa Maynila or sa NCR. Ayan. Sobrang taas ng bilihin doon. Oo. You have to pay for everything in order to survive there. Kung hindi ka taga doon. Okay? Compare dito sa probinsya, medyo mababa ang cost of living kasi you can grow your own food, you can stay for hindi ka kailangang mag-boarding para mag-work dito. Yan, kung taga dito ka, of course. So, medyo mataas ang cost of living doon. So, yung range ng sinasahod at range ng cost of living, pwede nating i-relate yan later on. Okay? So, we can always conclude that, of course, in other parts of the Philippines, you can earn more but spend more. Okay? While here, medyo relax ka lang. Sakto lang yung sahod pero hindi enough para yumaman. Yan. Depende na lang sa diskarte ng tao. Yan. Sabi ko nga, ang range ay pwede rin namang hati-hatiin. Yung interquartile range kung tawagin nila. You can always compute for the 25th percentile, 75th percentile, 50th percentile. Depende na lang kung anong kino-compute mo. Okay? So, if we make use of this interquartile range, on the example na gamit natin kanina on this scores that we have, okay? Let's say ito na lang, yung even na lang. Para meron tayong first interquartile or first quartile, then second quartile, third, and then fourth. Magkakaiba yung magiging quartile range ng mga yan. Let's say 50th percentile ng quartile natin. Okay? So, dito, from the highest point to the lowest point. We can compute for that using the calculator, 109 as the highest minus 93. So, yung atin pong range for that set of data is 16. While kung second half ang ating computation, okay, we have here, nasaan na yun? Natakpan. 140 dapat yun dito. Okay. So, natakpan ng calculator kasi. Ayan. Okay. So, 140 and then 110 as the lowest. Of course, kanina 16. Ngayon naman 30. Iba naman po ang magiging range doon. So, ang range is magkakaiba yan kung ang hinihingi is yung 1/4, yung 3/4, or yung pwede rin naman yung between 25th percentile to 75th percentile. So, pwede rin dito. Kung titignan natin yun dun sa score kanina, so, yung 25th percentile is nandito siya, 98. Tapos, yung pinaka-last naman po nandito. Okay? So, 119, 98, you know the answer for that range. Okay? So, yun lang naman po. The interquartile range is the distance or range between the different percentiles na hinahanap. Okay? So, 25%, pwede rin 50%, pwede rin 75%, depende na lang kung anong hinahanap doon sa set of data that you have. Okay? For the next discussion, we'll talk about variance. Okay? So, doon na po ulit tayo magkakaroon ng other example. Okay? So, I hope you learned something po for our discussion today about descriptive statistics using mean, median, and mode, as well as the pag-identify ng range doon sa mga set of data. So, in short, using these tools, you can always describe the data properly at hindi ka magja-judge ng basta-basta, tulad na lang po nung atin pong first example na class A and class B kung sinong mas matalino. Okay? So, I hope you learned something po from our discussion, and as always, thank you for listening, guys. Bye and have a nice day.